On Friday, September 12th, Nigerians everywhere celebrated as Hilda Baci attempted another Guinness World Record with the largest pot of jollof rice. Once again, our competitive Nigerian jollof was in the news, and we must hail Hilda's courage and determination. She has inspired millions and showcased our culture on the global stage. In the end, the record was certified as successful. A proud moment for Nigeria. Another one for Nigerian jollof. Yay! But along the way, there was drama. At the critical moment, the giant pot collapsed under its own weight. Thankfully, no lives were lost. On that same day, however, in Lagos, same city or same state, a three-story building collapsed in Yaba. 4 people died. Others were trapped and families were thrown into mourning. And this is not an isolated incident. According to Current, between January and July last year alone, Nigeria recorded 22 building collapses, 22, and 33 deaths. These 2 collapses, one a pot, the other a building, are linked by the same lesson. Both show the consequences of inadequate planning and the undervaluing of structural engineers. A pot that collapses brings embarrassment and risk. A building that collapses brings tragedy. Structural engineers are the guardians of safety. They calculate loads, stress points, and safety margins. Yet in Nigeria, their input is too often ignored. And when that happens, the results are sadly predictable. The pot collapse was predictable, just as every building failure is predictable. They are not accidents. They are failures of structural calculation. If we want to move forward, we must put engineers at the center of planning, and Current must do more than regulate. They must educate the public on why engineers matter and why their voice must carry weight. Hilda's courage brought us pride. The Yaba collapse brought us grief. Both prove the same truth. In Nigeria, without structural planning, even pride can turn to pain. My people, what say you?
Okay, I'd like to go first. I don't think this is a current advocacy problem. I think it is a regulation enforcement problem and also ownership. I digress. Congratulations to Hilda. She's a superstar. So Guinness World Record in 2 years. I don't know who else has done it. Very much a superstar. A law without enforcement is a suggestion. We have building codes. There are regulations that guide how buildings are meant to be built. There are regulations that guide the kind of consultants that are meant to be on every building project. And then there are certifications you get before you permits you get before you because if all these consultants are not, you will not even be able to get the permits. But then people are building without such permits, and there is no one enforcing the situations. So we have an ownership issue and we have a regulation issue. As far as those issues are not solved, we will always find ourselves in this space. For Hilda, the pot breaking up is also an ownership issue. It's also the Nigerian anyhowness. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. You know, we'll get away with it. But there has to be proper planning. There has to be proper conceptualization. We're trying to make this huge pot of rice. What volume of rice can this accommodate? You know, if you're moving it, what is the best way to move it? Again, Nigerian anyhowness.
So I was present at the Eco Hotel that day.
Did you get some jollof rice?
No, I didn't get some jollof rice.
I actually ate that rice.
Were you in Lagos?
It's really good. Yeah, I was in Lagos.
Okay.
But the first thing that struck me when I arrived at Eco Hotel was the sheer rowdiness of the crowd.
So planning again.
So again, that speaks to planning. Another thing that struck me when I saw some of the crowd rushing for the food, and I think since Bright chopped some of the jollof, he can tell, was the sheer amount of hunger that is a problem. Now, according to the SBM Jollof Index, your pot of jollof rice for a family of 5 as of June is about 27,528 naira. That's in a country where minimum wage is 70,000 naira. Just one pot of jollof is 27,000 plus. That's a problem. So it gives us an insight into why there was that rush. And it also gives us an insight into the building things. This is the relationship. Because we are so poor that we are always in a hurry to cut corners, which brings us to the lack of law enforcement. Because as Zuma has rightly said, a law that is not enforced is a suggestion. And it brings us right back to rule of law. In Lagos, between 2000 and 2021, there were 167 building collapses, 4.8 building collapses a year. This is Lagos alone. Now we are down to 3 per year. But 3 per year is 3 too many.
You talked about structural engineers.
Yes.
You know, in your advocacy, but I also think that this is more than just structural engineers, because you can also say the same things in finance. You can say the same things in law. You can say the same things in the medical profession. The fact is that Nigerians like to cut corners. So I should go to the hospital to get tested. No, but I'd rather go to the chemist or the nurse beside my house to give me an injection. I should ask a financial advisor, okay, should I invest in that stock or not? Or should I do this investment or not? But no, I'll go and ask my neighbor who will tell me that there's this thing, you just put your money there, in 1 month you get 100%. I should get proper legal advice before I buy that property, but no, I would not. And so you find that, you know, basically in Nigeria, we are very good at not doing the right things. Some time ago, I wanted to do a project in my village. And I started going through, I wanted to, what's the process? Okay, what's the permit? What's this? What is? I was dedicated. And they were looking at me like, this one just come from Lagos. You know, there was that. They were really perplexed that, well, you don't need that one. Just start building. Just start.
They will come. You give.
Yeah, I said, don't worry. When they come, just find something for them. And I said, no, we're going to go through the process. We're going to get the building permit. We are going to go through all the things we needed to do. It took months to get all those things. That was another problem. Why should it take months to do these things? So this thing, it speaks to all of us. You know, it speaks to all of us. Now, congratulations to Hilda. You made us proud. But at the end of the day, we all should take a moment to ask ourselves that, in what ways do we cut corners?
First of all, shout out to Hilda, because I couldn't make it I wanted to go for the event, but I couldn't make it. But
and you got the rice.
My friend that
connected.
went. My friend that went
You need
got
to
the
know
rice.
someone.
See what we're talking about now, privilege and who we're fighting.
I really wanted to eat that rice. I wanted to be sure that, you know,
People were fighting.
it's just that everything will enter properly. What?
People were fighting and you raised your leg and got it.
Yeah, I mean,
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
What it is. Anyways, the skills level in Nigeria is acceptable. It's mediocrity, but it's acceptable, because you can't. What are you going to do? You want to fly people from Ghana or from Togo, from Benin Republic, or from India? You have to work with what's available, and this happens because there is no recognition. There is no value that you get from being excellent in the trades. Whether you have 10 years experience or 20 years experience, somebody that started 2 days ago can pull up with his toolbox and compete with you, and probably even get the job over you because it's cheaper, right? So because there's no reward, people do not see the need to improve. Right? So as long as there's no reward or recognition in the trade space, that's literally what run our entire country. As long as there's no reward or recognition, you can't find people that have the right skill to do the right job.
So, Bright,
Yeah.
what you've just said, you kind of underscored my point, because when I was thinking about this, I started from the law, regulation, enforcement. But the truth is, do you really think when Hilda was doing that thing, she realized she needed a structural engineer? That's why I said Corinne should educate. I don't think she knew. She would never have wanted that pot of rice to fall. To fall. If she knew she needed one, she would have gotten one. And so I I studied architecture. I have a degree in architecture, and it is in architecture school that I understood what a structural engineer does. I had no idea. When tragedies are predictable, calling them accidents is not only irresponsible, but it's laying the foundation for them to happen again.
Where we repeatedly abdicate responsibility, no one will do what someone ought to do, and everyone will suffer for it.